Hello, everyone. Kristen here, and today I am joined with Anna Ghanouni, who is, and I always mispronounce your name, Anna. I don't know
You did it.
why.
You did it perfectly. So,
After all these years, it seems like I always wonder if I've got it right. But hey, for anyone that doesn't know, Anna is amazing. She's one of our UYB coaches, but she also has been in the legal world for a lot of years. She has experience with forensic accounting, experience as a firm administrator. I often introduce her by saying she's probably worn every single hat in a law firm besides the attorney hat. And she probably could wear that one too if she just had a JD next to her name. Um, but Anna, thank you for joining us today.
thanks for having me. I'm excited to be
So,
here.
we are talking about the upcoming data driven leadership workshop, of which you are one of our speakers. And I want to give everyone a sneak peek into talking about or seeing what we're going to talk about at the workshop and why it's so important to know your numbers and how that helps people lead their teams. Can you share a little bit of your experience with using numbers and data to really work with your team and giving them some guidance?
Yeah. So, something I'm seeing in not only my coaching clients at UIB, but just like I was at a book club and this came up. So, it's everywhere. Is people not understanding what success looks like. And I feel like having the data, because I call it data like Elise, because I'm in the South. So having the data and your team also using that information to make sure that they are doing what you would like them to, and knowing when they're successful and being able to have objective criteria for that. It's just so important. And leadership being able to teach their team how to be successful
Mm.
with that objective criteria.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, law school didn't teach me anything about how to read numbers and how to what the targets were supposed to be for me, let alone how to then convey those expectations to the team or help them understand how to figure out those numbers. It's kind of this big mystery. Everybody's walking around going, well, not really sure what the number is or what we're supposed to be doing, which makes it hard for us. So, what are some of the metrics you've used with some teams? Give us a couple of example KPIs.
So, I mean, it's you could do just intake. So how many people have called, how many set appointments, that kind of thing. And the expectations that leadership decides, and making sure to track the numbers and look at the numbers is a key component as well. So it's not only having the goals, but tracking it, and um, that kind of thing. And then there's always the sales numbers, which I feel like everybody kind of talks about, is how many people converted, that kind of thing. There's also like how long a case has been open, how many cases are open, how long were they open, how many times did somebody follow up with a client um to see how they were doing, and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Like there's all kinds of data that you can keep track of. And it's also important to figure out what data works for you and what you actually want to be looking at, because you can have all kinds of information, but if you're not looking at information that is actually applicable to what you need to see, then it's a waste of time.
Yeah, I see a lot of people touting around some vanity metrics because it sounds good, but it doesn't actually tell us what's going on, and there's no other data or numbers around that metric. And so it's like, well, that sounds great, but that might not actually be what's going on. Or, wow, look at how much we're losing that we could be. Like that tells another whole story. I mean, I think intake and sales are vital, and people are intimidated by some of those numbers. They're intimidated by how to track that. I also think that, I mean, listen, clients just they come to people and they're stuck and they want to be here. They want to be in that better place in life, whatever that is. They don't need the sausage factory. They just need to know they're going to get ahead, right? They just need to know they're moving forward. And anytime we can align the team with like moving people forward through the phases, moving people, like, great, you're now in phase 3 of 5, you're now in phase 4 of 5, and knowing those metrics and that information so that the staff member says, cool, I moved 4 people to the next stage today. Like, that tells us a story that we're moving people forward. That's a good thing. But people don't even, oh, well, I've got 142 people in the pot and stirring around. Well, that doesn't really tell us much.
Where where are they in the cooking process?
Yes.
How
Yes,
done are
almost
they?
done or
Yeah.
just getting started. Yes.
Yeah, and
So
how long, like, if there is someone that has been in a certain stage for well over the time that they should have been, why? And knowing that information, did they just not follow in the chain for some reason? Why did they drop off? Like, is it waiting on documents or something like that?
yeah.
Just knowing why if things are different than the plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Similar to a budget, so same can be done for working through your case.
Absolutely. And I know you also help our clients with the workflows and workloads boot camp of mapping out those phases and workflows, but then also how long does it take? What's the workload on each person? What are some of the conversations that people can have with their team when they know it's supposed to be a 30-minute project or task and the person spends 4 hours on it, for instance? Walk us through how people can navigate that, or what do you share with people when they talk to you about these issues?
So I think first, if people are actually tracking their time, that's amazing. That is that is a very important data point for figuring out how long things take and pricing, and there's just so much that can be taken from tracking your time. So if they are tracking time and it did take 4 hours for something that should have taken 30 minutes, was that an inexperienced person and they need more training? Did a tool not work? Did a like template break?
Yeah,
Like something happened, and figuring out what that was, having a conversation with the person to get to the bottom of why it took so much longer than planned,
yeah.
is
A
key.
and in coming at it from a place of curiosity versus anger or, um, some emotional perspective, I think that's one of the great things at this workshop that we're gonna be spending some time helping people with. Okay, the number is the number, but now let's add, as Elise said, let's add the narrative. Let's find out what's going on to this number. Don't just, lose your lid over the fact that the number is off. Maybe there was a computer snafu or something else happened. Or truly, maybe the person just hasn't had the training and doesn't know how to do the thing. And so
Right.
it's taking them 3 times, 4 times as long because they just don't know any better. They don't know how to do it well. But again, it's learning to obtain the data and then go through and apply it or to ask the questions and get curious, to dig in and find out what's going on. So I know you're going to be speaking. Victoria Collier will be there, Elise Bowie, Steph Tess, myself. We've got a couple of other UYB team members that will be there to help during different breakout sessions. What are you most looking forward to with this upcoming workshop?
I mean, other than hearing all of you guys, I think being in a community of leaders is so valuable, and having conversations with people on how they're doing things, even if it's not technically leadership, you could talk about so many things with other business owners. And I feel like this is a great opportunity to like just talk about how things are going with other people and pick their brains if you realize that they're in the same practice area or in same business, or even if they're not, there are so many things and so many tools in the field that you may not even realize are out there, and if somebody mentions something, then it's new information that then you can change and figure out better ways to do stuff, and just having the interaction with other business owners is, again, it's so valuable.
Yes, yes, and I think that you never know when some little side conversation can absolutely spark such incredible, like, light bulb moment, transition, just sometimes it's those little things at conferences where it's just so profound, but you'd never heard it that way. And sometimes it comes from people that aren't even one of the main speakers. It's from
Right.
those lunches you have together, the breakout rooms, things like that. So I too am very excited about getting people together. It's beautiful time of year in the Pacific Northwest. So we're going to be blessed with some awesome weather and environment, but also just the interactions with people. So Anna, I know you're coming, you're excited. If somebody were on the fence and not sure whether it would be worth their time and energy to get signed up, book a ticket, fly out there from wherever they are in the US, what would you say to that person? Why do you think that this, I know you've been part of the planning and we've talked about some of the speakers and things like that, but what would you say to that person who's on the fence about whether or not to come?
I mean, you just said it, right? That it's the Pacific Northwest and a beautiful time of year. No, I mean, I do think we've already, like, talked about the main thing in my mind is, like, for 2 days, you get to focus on your business and talking to people about business, and I just think being in a room with other business owners and talking about how to make improvements and how to be a leader and doing that, like, it's so valuable, and I feel like I just keep saying that, but, it some of our biggest, like, firm growth things happened because we were having conversations with people, and it wasn't necessarily what was being talked about on the stage, and continuing those conversations when we got home with team and all of that, it's just a big shift, and I think if you're on the fence about it, you should just come because it's gonna be awesome.
Awesome. It truly, I think a lot of people in today's day and age they have the opportunity to do virtual workshops and webinars and they're amazing. I mean, listen, we put on our own, right? But it also is about being in that room and it's about having the space and energy. It's so easy to turn off the live stream and shut the computer, walk off and forget about everything you just talked about or learned, right? So it's a good thing to be physically in a space where you can have that opportunity to be with other people and keep the conversation going and set a plan of action for back when you get back to the office. So well, awesome. I can't wait to see you in person. I can't wait to. We've got an amazing group coming together of participants. I know there are a few more people on the fence. We'll be sharing this video with them, but thank you for your time and jumping on. And I know we'll be working on all that amazing workbook and all those example metrics and data points that they can use to start leading by example. So
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you for joining us, Anna.
Thanks for having me. This is my first live stream, so
I
it's
did not know. You
yeah.
handled it like a pro.
Yeah. Well, I try.
Well, we're gonna have you do more of them. How's that?
Okay. We'll
Awesome. All
see.
right. Bye, everybody. Thanks, Anna.
Bye.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
day. Bye.